What's going on, guys? Josh Pocock here, and in today's video we're going to be using O1 by OpenAI, the newest model O1 Mini, to actually build out a Next.js app using Cursor, using V0, how we can set up authentication on it using Supabase. Let's dive right in. All right, guys, so everyone's pretty much been hearing about Cursor AI Editor. I've done multiple videos on it, so you're going to want to download Cursor if you're going to want to follow along with this video. I'm using the paid version, so I get access to Cursor Composer. We're going to be using V0 to do the front-end elements, and the goal of this is pretty much to create a website, basic website, whatever the case is, maybe look at a bit, make it look a bit nice, and then add a login function, some authentication. Maybe we'll get to like adding some dashboard elements and whatnot, but we'll see how that goes. And then we're going to want to do the authentication through Supabase. If you're not familiar with Supabase, essentially like a Firebase alternative. There is an open source version. I'm going to be using the web or the cloud version right now on a demo project. So yeah, let's dive right in. Also too, guys, if you want to be caught up with the latest news around O1 Mini, definitely check out the video I did yesterday going over kind of what we know up until this point, how the new paradigm has shifted with these models, these reasoning models. But let's actually see, and I'm probably going to do a video maybe doing some tests on these, maybe comparing it to Claude Sonnet. Well, let's go ahead. We're going to use O1 Preview to do sort of the planning, and then we're going to use O1 Mini in the actual development and building everything out. Reason being is because O1 Preview, you know, if you're going to be using it on a consistent basis, it's somewhat not feasible unless for certain tasks, just because you don't want to be using it all the time. It's pretty expensive in terms of you know, cost per million tokens. I think it's about $15 per input and like something crazy like 60 or something on output. All right, guys, and we're going to kind of be testing this out as we go and seeing what works best. So let's go ahead and start with O1 Preview, and I'm just going to kind of explain to it what I'm trying to do. Of course, I'm not going to do everything perfect and prompt it perfect. I'm going to do this somewhat quick just so we can kind of see what we actually get and what it can, you know, do. But if you're doing this, I would suggest maybe taking a little bit more time to really fine tune some of these prompts and try to get the best, give it the best context possible for what you're trying to build. All right, guys, and when we get into Cursor, I'm going to show you how you can also, you know, put documents into Cursor and reference those as you're working with Cursor. But just for the sake of also testing this out, we're going to go to Supabase Docs right here. Go to the Next.js Auth section, and I'm going to copy and paste. All right, so here's my prompt. I'm going to use Cursor AI, the IDE, to build a Next.js app router app. That is a website that has Supabase OAuth for login. Please plan out this project for me in depth so I know how I should proceed for each step. I'm using v0.dev by Vercel for generating front-end UI components. Here's the Supabase Auth docs, and I just pasted in the docs for its reference, for its context. Now let's go ahead and press enter. Taking a closer look, figuring out the plan. That was actually very quick. I thought it was going to take a minute or two, but here we're getting a plan right here. So project overview, prerequisites, Node.js. So, you know, prerequisites that you should have: set up a Supabase account, you know, have Cursor, have V0, which we have, that goes without saying, and then step-by-step plan. So it's telling us how to set up a new Next.js app, navigate to our project directory, install Supabase packages, the dependencies, and then set up environment variables. So environment local, put our Supabase keys in, and then set up Supabase utility function, create Supabase client file. So pretty much, I mean, I guess it's just like it's kind of easy. I guess I gave it the docs here. Now the reason I gave it the docs and why I would always kind of suggest to reference new documentation is because lots of times these AI models are trained on older docs. All right, there's a reason why when I said Next.js, I specified app router. All right, we're not using the page, you know, pages. We're using router. But since pages have been around for so much longer than app router, so much of the data that it's been trained on, most of these models, is with pages, right? So you need to specify app router. Same thing with Supabase Auth. I know, for example, You know, they used to use auth helpers. You can even see it referenced auth helpers right here. But as of now, they're not updating those packages. They're doing the whole Supabase SSR, and these new packages they're focusing on. They're not, basically the auth helpers are depreciated. So other than that, yeah, that's what I would suggest. Always reference new documentation to get the best output. All right, so now that we kind of got this plan, we're going to go over into Cursor and V0 and start building this thing out. All right, so I'm just going to copy this code to set up our Next.js app. Now, just as a side note, guys, once you open up Cursor, if you go over to settings, which is up here in the top right, you'll see all your different models. To add the model name, well, of course, you're going to need your OpenAI API key. Okay, so you're going to want to add the model. So you can just click add model, and the models are of course, O1-mini and then O1-preview. You can add those models and then you'll be able to access them right here. Okay. Also too, guys, as a side note, if you scroll down, you'll see this rules for AI. This is sort of like the overarching context that you can set up for Cursor. So I would definitely recommend setting something like this up that's custom for your specific project. It will help you basically, you know, control what sort of output you're going to be getting from Cursor. All right, so I'm going to run npx create next app latest. I'm going to use TypeScript, ESLint, Tailwind, yes, and no, boom. All right, and just as a side note, guys, you can add docs as in a markdown file like this. So you see I had just created supabase.auth or -auth.md, and then over in chat here or in Composer, you could either add that document right here, so Supabase auth.md in the current file. You could actually too go over here, create a project, for example, a new project, test, and then we could add like a focus file here, which would be this, the Supabase auth, and then we could create composers. We could also do like some prompts right here. So I could just copy this, you know, this initial prompt I had right here, paste it in here. All right, like I said, it's not perfect, but it's good enough to start. I could create a composer here, and I could go about it this way. You could also go like this. You could do @ and then you could do docs like so, and then you could add a new doc. All right, you would just click add doc, and then you would grab the link to this documentation right here. Oh no, you paste it in right here. Boom, and then that will index that doc on the website. It will scrape it and pull that in, and then you could reference the doc in your conversation. Right, so you could do it those two ways mainly. Okay, so now we got our next app set up. You can see we got the source directory, the app router, got some fonts here. Okay, pretty basic setup. So let's go ahead and let's start off by going to V0. And all right, so here's my prompt in V0. Generate me a beautiful, professional, modern website for my AI automation marketing agency that has a Vercel style feel. Dark colors, dark professional colors, beautiful UI, sleek, has a login button in the top right, header, catchy heading, and everything else a full website should have. All right, this isn't perfect by any means, but we're gonna run with it. All right, now the reason I'm starting with V0 is because when it comes to actually generating UI components, I find it's always best to start on V0 just because that's what it's good at, and then bring it over to Cursor afterwards. So that's, once we bring it over to Cursor, that's when we're going to start using O1. All right, so here it's giving us a logo, giving us, you know, everything we pretty much asked for. Of course, some of this styling is going to need to change. So I could do some additional prompts to optimize this in V0 and then bring it over to Cursor. And maybe we'll do one and then bring it over. All right, so I'm saying the button is white on white text. Fix this. All the buttons like this are like this. Everything should be readable. All right, so I got this one, I guess, right, but still not perfect. So we're just going to run with it, and we're going to copy. Actually, we could copy the code, but we're actually just going to add to code base this way. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to come over here. I'm going to paste this in, and we're going to run this. So this is npx ShadCN at latest. So we're installing ShadCN. I'm going to click yes, and we're actually adding this exact component in here just from V0. So if you didn't know you could do that, it's a pretty cool feature. All right, so things look good so far. We got our components folder with our UI. We got the button, input, landing page, utils right here, and pretty much it. So now we can actually quickly build out the login. So what I would typically do is you probably would want to split this landing page up into separate components, but you know, we're not going to do that. I'm going to run pnp run dev right now just so we can see what everything looks like. All right, guys, so I'm going to start off by using the composer right here, and we're just going to add in, so we have our page right here, and I'm going to add in the landing page. And just because I don't want to write a single bit of code, we're going to use our good old friend O1 mini. And I'm going to say, okay, so I'm saying remove dummy content in this page and just import this component with our good old friend O1 mini. Let's go ahead and run this. All right, so it's giving us a bit of an explanation here. I'm just going to go ahead and trust it and click accept. Okay, and it looks like it worked first try. I mean, that's pretty simple to do. As you can see, okay, it looks like it actually does have the button working well on the render here. Actually, everything looks pretty dang good right out of box. It looks like we're getting a hydration error, so let me just go ahead and paste this. Anytime you get an error like this, you can literally just go into your cursor and just paste this in. Oh, pretty simple. It's literally just a use client. I guess it was already. Let's go ahead and accept, and now we should not get that error. Okay, so it took a couple prompts to fix there, and sometimes you'll get this, like, basically first it's saying it was going to add a use client to the page, and then I said no, I don't want that, and then it was trying to do that again or something, and basically then I just said no use client in page. Either way, I'm still getting error because either way that wasn't solving the issue. So if you're facing an issue, just put it in Composer, put it in chat, either one, and just say, hey, this is what it is, this is the error, and try to get to fix it. Sometimes it won't do it on the first try, but it should after like 2 or 3 tries. I actually tend to find when you're doing stuff with like UI, like very specific things with UI, that's when it can hallucinate like crazy. And you'll see here I'm typing all in caps. Sometimes it pisses me off, and I try to be nice to the AI, but sometimes I get pissed off at it. So anyways, so now we got our website loaded up here. It's looking good enough. So we're gonna go ahead, build the login page, and actually get Supabase set up right now. All right, so to do so, since I already have this chat open with the composer, I'm actually just going to try it this way. So I'm going to tag our Supabase auth.markdown, and this actually isn't written using like markdown syntax, but we're gonna use it anyways. Markdown just makes it a bit easier for LLMs to read it. But all right, so we're gonna start it off with this and see how it does. So please completely set up auth for me using this Supabase auth doc guide, auth doc guide. Only follow these docs word for word. Don't do anything else. For the landing page component, when the login button is clicked, it should take the user to login page where they can log in through Supabase. Let's go ahead and run this, and I don't know if it's going to be able to do everything for us, but I'm curious if it does, like out of box, I'd be really amazed. But I feel like we're definitely going to have to do a bit of iteration to this, but we'll see. All right, so here is our first output. So basically it created our .environment file, or .environment.local. We got our middleware set up, our actions, our page.tsx, and it looks like it did some editing here. Our route, our page.txs here, we'll see what all these are, and then our landing page. So environment variables, we're going to add this in just a second. We got our client component, server component, middleware setup, applies the middleware, authenticated pages. Okay, so these are the authenticated pages right here. Our actions.ts, our page.tsx, email confirmation, route handler right here. Protected pages. Okay, so it made a protected page, which is good. And then landing page update, so updated that, and we're going to, it's telling us to install the dependencies, which is good. So we're going to run this. I'm going to go new terminal. So I'm going pnpm install Supabase .-js and then Supabase SSR. All right, guys, and just so you know where to get your environment variables in Supabase, you're going to go over to your project settings. All right, you're going to set up your own project. This is a test project, and I'm going to delete this after this video anyways, but here you have your anon public key right here. You're going to copy this, And this is your private key, your service role key. All right, that does pretty much everything, your admin key. And then up top over here, if I scroll up a bit, is the URL for your Supabase. So you're gonna want all of those. All right, so I'm gonna copy the URL. I'm gonna go here, and first off, I'm just gonna accept all these for now. So we got our Supabase URL. I'm going to paste that right here, and I'm gonna get my anon key, and I'm going to paste that as well right here. Go ahead and save that. And okay, and just out of box, I want to see what this looks like if I click login. Let's see. Okay, so it does have the login page. Obviously it's very it's very professional, very beautiful. No, I'm joking. It's very ugly. So we could actually just go over to V0 and say, we're saying generate me a beautiful professional login page that matches the theme of my site. All right, so I just said remove the 14-day free trial and forgot password and remember me, and just have a sign in button and a sign up button, just to keep things simple for the sake of this video. All right, this looks good enough. We are going to go ahead and install this. I'm going to come up here, copy this code, go down here, and we are going to install this. All right, so here we also have this UI component now of the login page, and I'm going to basically just go into Composer and tag our login page right here, as well as our login page right here, our actual login page, our page.txs, and say, please. All right, so I'm saying, please make the login page.tsx component imported into the login/page.tsx and make it function properly for our Supabase login. All right, and I just tagged those files here. We're going to send that. All right, so we got our output, updated login page, modified login page here, ensure navigation from landing page, no changes needed for other files. Make sure you have dependencies installed, environment variables, restart development server, and yeah. So let's go ahead and just accept this. So far I literally haven't done anything except accept what O1 gives us. Let's go ahead and see. Okay, so it looks like we're getting a failed to compile. I'm just going to copy this and paste it over here. One thing I will say, and this is something that you won't see just due to editing, is sometimes simple things like this take a long time. Like it just took about a minute just to reply to this, where Claude Sonnet would probably get it done in about 10-15 seconds tops. All right, so like I said, I didn't want to write any code at all. So Cursor did actually, O0 did give us the fix, just updating our next config file, but it looks like it didn't put the form. I wanted that same form, so I'm going to tell it I wanted. All right, so I said I wanted the same form for that from the original component, not the ugly one you have for the login, the same form and buttons exactly. Let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so it looks like it's updating the login page component and the logging and the landing page. We'll go ahead and accept, and let's hope that it worked. Okay, so this is a lot better. We got a nice looking UI here. Now it looks like we're getting a hydration error again. So I'm just going to copy and paste this and paste it into Cursor. All right, so I said the login button should log the user in through Supabase, and sign up should create accounts. Sign up does nothing, and login does this right here. After it tries to log in, there's a hydration error. So I'm going to send that. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and accept whatever I just did here, and let's see how it works now. Okay, it looks like it may have worked. Let's go ahead and check our Supabase backend. Perfect. It actually worked, guys. So as you can see, I literally did not do one line of code. I didn't edit anything. I didn't use Claude. I didn't use whatever. I simply just used O1 to set up Supabase Auth. I used V0 to set up the components, make it look a little bit nice. And we just fed every single error we got back into O1 through Cursor, through ChatGPT, OpenAI, the new model, and it was able to set up this decent looking website in about 30-40 minutes of recording. Obviously this is going to be edited down, because yeah, the one thing is there was a lot of waiting. Okay, so if I was to actually like improve upon this, of course, once the user's logged in, it would probably redirect them to that private page, and that would probably be the dashboard or whatever the case may be, so they won't see this login anymore. And then you can make the logout functionality, you can make the dashboard, etc. But this is just the start, guys. This took me, like I said, 30-40 minutes to set up a basic website, basic login that looks somewhat half decent. We connected it back to our Supabase database or dashboard or Supabase authentication. You could of course use Supabase as well for your database, Postgres, etc. So pretty cool stuff, guys. If you want to see more videos like this, if you want me to expand, going deeper into doing builds, you know, whether that's database setup, all that good stuff, let me know in the comments down below. If you want me to see, if we want to see a specific video, let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to be doing more videos in the next few days around O1, testing it out, maybe testing it, like I said, between Claude, seeing how good this model actually is. But my opinion on it so far, for using it for coding, for projects with Cursor, I think it's really good. I think it's, personally, I probably, in terms of like using it on a consistent basis with Cursor, I would probably use Claude just because it's a lot faster. It's way faster. This one, you can ask it a simple question sometimes and it can take like a minute or two. So that's the downside. If you need to solve a complex problem that needs a lot of reasoning, it could be useful. Or like I said, like I showed at the start, I'm using it for planning out your project. Probably pretty good for that. And other than that, guys, if you're new to the channel, we make videos on every single day on AI, automation, business growth, coding, sales, etc. A bunch of cool stuff. So make sure, if you're not new to the channel, you got some value here, make sure to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button to stay up to date with the daily uploads. Also, check out our free Stride community down below, our free Facebook group, free Discord channel. You can join there, network with myself as well as other like-minded individuals. I'm trying to build a community here, guys, where we can all add value to each other. I'm going to try to do my best to continuously improve the quality of this content, get you guys as much value as possible. And we're almost at 6K subscribers, guys. So thank you for all the recent support. 10K, road to 10K is next. So other than that, I will see you in tomorrow's video, guys. Let me know if you have any questions or thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know if you've been playing around with O0, O1, what type of tool or what type of things you've been able to build. V0, O1, Cursor, it's a crazy combo. I will see you in tomorrow's video, guys. Keep hustling, keep grinding, and of course, guys, accelerate your stride. Take care.